And this is a channeled message to you from Spirit. I had a day off yesterday. I was away for the weekend. Actually, I didn't do a channeled message all weekend because I'm not here to work with the YouTube algorithm. I'm here to work with the spiritual algorithm. And they will lead me to when I need to upload and what spiritual messages I need to upload, because it's more about crossing the paths of people that need to hear this. The spiritual message today is you're never going to win with certain people. And what I mean by that is Spirit used me and my experiences and my healing to bring your spiritual messages because they want me to share how I healed and what I did in some of my darkest days. I've been working really hard for the last 12 years to understand myself, understand healing on so many different levels. And I do teach this now. And Spirit used me to channel this. When you start, so when you're in toxic families, toxic relationships, toxic dynamics, you will have been scapegoated to always being the problem. You will be looked at as the dysregulated one, emotionally mature one. It'll always be you that's the problem in all situations. And then when as you start healing and you say, right, I want to take my power back, I want to grow and connect myself from the things that I've been through because I want to heal, I want to be a healthier person, those very people won't like it either. And this will really hurt you because it did me. When my family and friends did this, it felt like the biggest punch in the face because it felt like you hated me or were angry with me with the behaviours that you didn't like, and now I'm healing them. You dislike me even more. You're irritated by me. You think that I'm acting like I'm better than everyone else, or my boundaries and my thoughts and my feelings really, honestly, it irritated them on a new level, and this hurt. This hurt so much because I was like, you didn't like me in my dysregulated part. I was the problem then, and now I'm the problem now. I couldn't win. And this will be the same for you. It will be a time of a real baffling, because you'll be really questioning. It will really lead you to question yourself and those around you as you feel this hurt. But the biggest realisation I had during that time is it was never about me. Wow. They needed a scapegoat to project all of their anger, their frustration, their wounding onto, because it was uncomfortable for them to sit with themselves. So they needed that. So every toxic family, unhealthy family, or even friendship, they need different dynamics with friends where they become the problems, because it means that person doesn't have to sit with themselves, their wounding, their behaviour. They don't have to take accountability, because guess what? It's that friend's fault. It's that daughter's fault. She's always pulling herself away, or she's always got a problem of some kind. But the biggest thing is, half of us are carrying our ancestral woundings. And part of my anger for years and years and years was my mum and dad hated me for who I was, but yet they created me. They created the unhealthy environment. They had unhealthy wounding themselves. Everything I was because of them. And that irritated them more because they were seeing the product of their pain through me. And I didn't realise that. I thought at 13, 12, I'm the bad person. I'm this. And I'm not here to say that my parents are bad, horrible people. I'm here to talk about how toxic families with lots of wounding and ancestral wounding going on have to project on their children or people around them being the problem, because they've got so much pain they don't know how to navigate. They don't know how to sit with. And the way I healed it with my children was I had to take accountability of, well, I need to heal. Yes, my environment created these things for me, but actually, as an adult now, I've got to take my power back because I'm an adult. And actually, I can be a slave to my childhood, but then my children are going to be a slave to my pain, and then their children. And that was one of the catalysts of why I've needed to heal and change. But I digress, because when I started healing, it irritated them even more. It was, oh, look at you, think you're better than everyone else. Oh, sorry, can you not make time for us now because of your boundaries? My healing become a weapon. Friends started to turn their nose up at me, started to not text me as much and talk about me behind my back, or just pull away. And this hurt, and I thought, and this is whoever's crossing this has either experienced it and gone back to their old ways because that's the energy they're used to, or they're in it now and they're like, you're not understanding it, so this is why I'm needing to share it. And I realised that my light shines even more onto people with wounding, which irritates them more because they are seeing somebody heal when they don't and aren't doing it. Same with friends and family. And we all know ourselves, and I'm going to be really honest here, and I think if you honestly sit with yourself, you will know this. When you're so unhappy or shit or got things going on, when you're around a happy person, it pisses you off. Or when you're around somebody who's really, really doing well, not that you don't want to see them doing well, but it highlights to you how much you don't think you're doing well, or how much you don't. And when we commit to our journey and heal, we can be happy for people. But when we're caught in our pain, I know I was, and this is how I got this realisation. I know that when I was caught in my pain, people who was like, oh, I'm healing, I'm this, I used to think, shut up. If it was that easy. It shined a light. So when people started to do it to me, I was like, of course, this is what's happening. What's happening is I'm not trying to be happy all of the time, but I'm showing up to myself in a way they don't know how to show up to themselves. So it's leading them to doubt themselves, dislike themselves more, because like attracts like. We want to be around our energies that we're used to. So when any energy is changing, it feels uncomfortable. And also, we don't meet the needs in those people anymore because we're realising it was unhealthy. We don't pick up the phone every 5 minutes, run to every one of their needs, gossip with them all of the time. And it doesn't make them bad people. This is just the wounding we have. Getting pissed all the time, taking drugs all the time, in extreme unhealthy behaviours. And when you step back, people think, well, it's because they think they're better than others. It's because they look down on people. And it's like, no. I and people like me just realise we don't want to be there no more. We don't want to be a slave to our past or defined by our past. And we can and do deserve to heal. Not everyone's there in their life at that time. And honestly, I don't know about you, and I know this isn't just me. I was really hurt by this. I was really angry because I was like, I can't win. I wanted to get healthier so I could have these people in my life and have healthy relationships because I loved them. And then I realised, wow, all that time I'd carried that burden as if I was the toxic one. And they were really toxic too. And actually, for me to have a healthier life and a happier life, their toxicity was fueling my toxicity, and we was in a cycle. So I wanted to be loved by these people, my parents, of course. I wanted to be loved by my friends. But what I really realised is it was something far greater than me. I was in environments of huge toxicity, blaming myself, but this is something greater than me. This is years of wounding prior to me, and it has to stop somewhere. And not sometimes, but I had to sit with the realisation that I have to choose me over them. And I promise you that was the hardest thing I had to do. And this will be the hardest, and it brings emotion now because it's the hardest thing you have to do. To choose you means I love these people. I still have friends I don't talk to that I think the world of, that I had many, many years of loving relationship with in a toxic way, but was still love. But I just can't be in those environments. I can't be around those people because they judge me so harshly because they judge themselves. I don't judge them. I was once them. If I judged them, it's like judging a part of me. So I accept them, but you can't accept things that are detrimental to you. So I can't do that. And also, people can't accept things in others that they haven't healed in themselves. This is why the human race is so judgmental. Because we judge in others the things we haven't healed in ourselves. People who are... I used to be a judgmental person. And I talk about that openly, and this is how I healed this, because I used to judge people. I used to judge their choices. And now and not now, but on my healing journey, I realised it was because I judged myself so harshly. I hated who I was. My mum and dad hate who they are. My siblings to a certain degree, because the wounding leaves us to hate who we are, which sees us constantly trying to wear different masks to try and get the love externally from people, to feel valid and valued and loved. But the truth is, you have to love yourself. You have to say, I love you, but I love me more. And if me being healthy means I have to lose you, as painful as that is, so be it. Because if you lose parts of yourself, if you let go of yourself to be loved by another, you will never be happy, period. If you have to deny parts of yourself, if you have to deny parts of your healing to make somebody else happy, you will never be happy. And in time, people can come back, and you can they can learn to accept you as who you are, and that you're not going to meet their needs anymore, and that a healthy relationship has to be built. And you can learn to accept them, that they may not be committed to healing, but that's okay. Their pain isn't going to impact you because you don't allow it to impact you, but you can support them where you can. Because it's not about letting everyone go or running from everyone. It's about coming away, letting the dust settle. People are calibrating, because it's all about energy. Initially, when you first start healing, people don't like your changed energy. It doesn't feel right to them, because whether it is right or isn't right, it's different energy. It doesn't feel comfortable. So in relationships, friendships, family, people say to me when I work with them in therapy, my partner's really gumming against it. And I'm like, that will happen. Did in my life with my partner, and we're still together, because they have to recalibrate with you if they're meant to be with you. And that doesn't mean they become who you want them to become. It means they learn to accept you as who you are, and that these are your new boundaries and things, and you learn to give them grace. This is the biggest key. You learn to give those you love grace, that they are not you. They are not on a healing journey like you. You can't force your healing on them. Your boundaries are yours and yours alone, and they are allowed boundaries. Whether you agree with their boundaries or not, if that's their boundaries, that's their boundaries, just like you have yours. And that made a huge difference in my relationship, where I didn't expect him to be who I wanted him to be, where I accepted him for who he was, but I didn't allow some of his detrimental behaviours to impact me. I held him accountable, but I also respected his need for his voice. The more I developed the power of my voice, the more I encouraged him to develop the power of his voice. And that's a key element, and I do that with my friends. I encourage them and my family to develop the power of your voice, because everything I want, I have to encourage others to have. Even with school, I email the Senko lady, and she's lush, and I email at night because I'm so busy in the day I forget, and she emails me back, and I say, please don't email me back because it's your time. And now I've realised I think she's a little bit of a people pleaser, and I love her, so I'm not going to email her at night anymore, because I know that people pleaser in her wants to email me straight back. So I'm going to understand her need right there that she doesn't even understand she has, and I am pointing it out slightly to her. And now, see, through our healing, we can learn, and because it's not just about us. Healing is about collective change and growth in humanity. And by me healing means I can understand other people have boundaries, other people have wants and needs that don't always align to mine, and it does not make them bad people. It means they're allowed them. Not everyone's going to heal, does not make them bad people. But I do have to choose what's healthy and right for me, just like you do. I'm hoping that this short channeled message brings you something. There is everyone that listens to this is going to take something different from it. If there's anything that I can say at the end of this channel message is, as you heal, let what is meant to go, go. Because what is meant to come back will come back. You will think by letting things go, it means you don't care, you don't want them. It doesn't. It means, it's the Tower card in Tarot. Even good things have to fall apart so better things can come together. And this is relationships too. Doesn't mean you have to split up, but you have to start having conflict and challenging conversations so that you can grow together. And this is the power of the healing journey. Mwah! Sending you love.